Hi everyone, how are you all? I trust you are all well. I wanted to get back to you sooner, but we are back on stage for load shedding. So, between 2.5 hour power outages, I stayed watching CNN and the Royal Channel for updates. I watched Charles's proclamation. I watched him and Camilla looking at the tributes. I watched the other rules and Sir Timothy, Andrew, Beatrice, Eugenie, Zara, Edward, Sophie, and Louise doing their walkabout at Balmoral. Yes, I did my chores, I did some drawing, but after each load shedding phase, I caught up on what I missed those 2.5 hours. It was all peaceful and calm and beautiful until the Wicked Witch stepped out of that car with our beautiful Prince and Princess of Wales. However, I stayed calm until she started the walk among the people. Oh, my lordy, I'm sorry. I just lost it. How? Why? I was stunned. How was this allowed? Why would anyone there be so disloyal and so two-faced to hug her, shake hands with her, or to pass her flowers? I want to make something very clear, something I heard very few people talk about, right up and until the very day the Queen died. She received and read every mainstream British newspaper, among which the Daily Mirror. So, for those who still think that the royals kept a lot away from the Queen in order not to upset her, no, no. She knew it all. She read about Harry and Meghan's lies and shade, just like we did, and still do. I read the Daily Mail and the Express, and likely so did the Queen. Yes, every piece of vitriol that reached our ears reached the Queen's ears, and likely even more. Has any of those people who were apparently there to honor the Queen but ended up shaking hands and hugging Meghan and passing her flowers even stopped to think that up and until almost her very last day, the Queen was likely angry and irritable and saddened by that two-bit actress and hurt by the grandson she loved so much? That, my friends, is what I am most angry about. I'm not a two-face. I cannot say one thing one minute and do something else the next. There are many stories as to why this happened in the first place. Some say Harry and Meghan planned their own walkabout, and the only way it could be stopped was to invite them to join the Prince and Princess of Wales. Others say that King Charles instructed the Prince of Wales to invite them along. Yes, my dears, I can find out what the truth is if I really want to, but I don't even care to, because whatever the story, the only spouses who went on these walkabouts were Queen Consort Camilla, the daughter of the Queen's husband, the Queen's son, Edward's wife, and the Prince of Wales's wife. The only grandchild of the Queen to have his wife accompany him is indeed the Prince of Wales. We did not see Zara's husband Mike, we did not see Eugenie's Jack, or Beatrice's Edo, because in European culture that is not really the done thing. In most European cultures, only the spouse and children will gather at a deathbed, and the funeral will be the first time everyone, extended family and friends, will actually grieve together. It will be the direct descendants who will receive guests and mourners up until the funeral. So no, whatever the excuses, they could have left Meghan behind. So in reality and overall, I think it would have looked more decent had Meghan not stepped out among the people. They could even have spun the story that it was her decision. Anyway, my friends, I was so upset that I turned every broadcast off and watched other rubbish on YouTube. However, I have a phone and messages came in via DM and WhatsApp for most of the night. I'm told that Meghan tried to get Jimmy Fallon's team to agree to doing her planned interview via Zoom instead of postponing it. But someone, likely Harry, put a stop to it. I'm also told that Meghan is trying to spread rumors or let on that she is pregnant again. And if you look at the footage and get a good side view, you will see that it looks like she stuffed some socks in her panties. Anyway, guys, while preparing this video, I watched the Queen's coffin leave Balmoral for Holyrood House. She was actually carried to the hearse by her own staff. 6 gamekeepers from Balmoral estate moved Her Majesty's coffin as she left Balmoral for the last time. They will arrive at Holyrood House at about 4 p.m. today. Monday afternoon, the coffin will be taken to St. Giles Cathedral. The King and royal family will attend a service at the cathedral and receive the coffin. On Tuesday, the Queen's coffin will travel from Scotland in a RAF aircraft, which will land in Norholt, from where it will travel by road to Buckingham Palace. Princess Anne will accompany her mother on this journey. On Wednesday, it will be taken in a procession on a gun carriage to the Palace of Westminster, where the Queen will lie in state until the morning of her funeral on Monday, September the 19th. So, my dear friends, subscribers, in honor of our dear departed Queen, I'm going to once again end this video with another Marion Crawford story from the Queen's childhood. The next part of the book, The Little Princesses, I would like to read to you, concerns 145 Piccadilly, the home Lilibet, our Queen Elizabeth, lived in as a child. Number 145 Piccadilly was a tall, narrow house just beyond Hyde Park Corner. It was a home-like and unpretentious household I found myself in. It was a home, the centre of which was undoubtedly the nurseries. They were on the top floor, comfortable, sunny rooms that opened onto a landing beneath a glass dome. Round the dome stood some 30-odd toy horses, about a foot high on wheels. That's where we stable them, Lilibet explained, and she showed me that each horse there had its own saddle and bridle, which were kept immaculate and polished by the little girls themselves. Over the years, the collection had accumulated, for when in doubt as to Christmas or birthday presents, it was always safe to send another horse. Stable routine was strictly observed. Each horse had its saddle removed nightly and was duly fed and watered. No matter what else might be going on, this was a must-do chore. The obsession for toy horses lasted unbroken until real horses became important some years later, and even then the old friends were not forgotten. They stood in a row along one of the corridors at Buckingham Palace, their grooming basket at the end of the row for many a year. One of Lilibet's favourite games that went on for years was to harness me with a pair of red reins that had bells on them, and off we would go, delivering groceries. I would be gentled, patted, given my nose bag, and jerked to a standstill, while Lilibet, at imaginary houses, delivered imaginary groceries and held long and intimate conversations with her make-believe customers. Sometimes she would whisper to me, "Crawfie, You must pretend to be impatient. Paw the ground a bit. So I would paw. Frosty mornings were wonderful, for then my breath came in clouds. Just like a proper horse, said Lilibet contentedly. Or she herself would be the horse, prancing around, sidling up to me, nosing in my pockets for sugar, making convincing little whinnying noises. Besides the toy horses, there were other four-legged friends in the world outside. A brewer's dray, with a fine pair often pulled up in Piccadilly just below, stopped by the traffic lights. There they would stand, steaming on winter nights. The little girls, their faces pressed to the nursery window, would watch for them fondly, anxious if they were late. On wet streets, anything might happen to a big dray horse, and many a weary little pony trotted home at the end of the day in its coster's cart, little dreamed of the wealth of royal sympathy it aroused from the upper window. From another side of the house we could see the riding schools going along Rotten Row. At the end of the track they would turn and start off again, the same horse appearing several times a day with different riders. If I'm ever queen, said Lilibet firmly, I shall make a law that there must be no riding on Sundays. Horses should have a rest too, and I shan't let anyone dock their pony's tail. Even at the young age of 5, it is quite clear that our darling Lilibet, Queen Elizabeth II, was a huge fan of horses, and even then she wanted to be fair. So next time, with our next video, we will end the video again, reading a portion from the book Little Princesses. So until then, please take good care of yourselves. Bye.